All right, today we're diving into a pretty radical blueprint for a new world. I mean, this is a vision that starts by calling out an entire generation for society's problems and ends with a plan to actually evolve humanity itself. It's a bold take for sure, and it all hinges on finding spiritual power in some really unexpected places.
So, the whole thing kicks off with this incredibly provocative statement, and it's aimed right at the baby boomer generation. The accusation is that their time was all about indulgence, and that this kind of spiritual inaction is the direct cause of the crises we see today. So, this isn't just a simple critique. It's basically a call to arms for a generation to step up and fix what it supposedly broke.
So, what's at the root of this crisis, according to this vision? Well, it all boils down to a fundamental failure of leadership. And we're not just talking about politics here. We're talking about a spiritual and intellectual vacuum that has left an entire society feeling, well, totally adrift. And this breakdown is absolutely crucial to understand. The argument is that spiritual leaders got completely lost in abstract ideas instead of offering any real-world guidance. Intellectuals, meanwhile, were just clinging to empty symbols. And the people? They were taught to worship idols, forgetting the core Korean philosophy of Hongik Ingan, this idea that everything you do should benefit all of humanity. This collective forgetting, the source claims, is what created the spiritual void.
Okay, so out of this diagnosis of failure comes the first very concrete mission. And this isn't some abstract goal. It's tangible, it's urgent, and it's a life-saving objective that's really designed to shock the system into action. To really hammer home how important this mission is, the source poses this question. I mean, think about it. In a world filled with economic problems and political fights, what could possibly be the single most urgent task?
And the answer is a stark, unmistakable number: 0. The goal is to completely eliminate suicide in South Korea by the year 2030. Now, this isn't just a policy target. It's framed as a special command from heaven, a moral imperative. And if they achieve it, it will completely redefine the nation's future. The big question then becomes, who's supposed to lead this charge?
And this brings us to the key players in this whole plan: the social parents. The very same generation that was accused of inaction is now being called upon to step up. The idea is for the baby boomers to move beyond their own private lives and become collective parents to society, taking on the responsibility for its deepest wounds, starting with the suicide epidemic.
Now, the timeline for this mission is just as ambitious as the goal itself. It all kicks off in 2025, when these social parents and other like-minded people come together. By 2030, the aim is 0 suicides in South Korea. But the vision doesn't stop there. This national success is meant to become a blueprint for the entire world, creating a ripple effect to end the suicide crisis on a global scale. So, to achieve something this huge, you're going to need some pretty unique tools. This philosophy suggests 2 of them, starting with something many of us might recognize, but seen in a totally new light: the Korean alphabet, Hangul.
We typically think of Hangul as this brilliantly designed, scientific alphabet, super logical. But this perspective just completely reframes it. It's not just a writing system, it's a channel for spiritual energy, a force that the source claims actually contains heavenly power.
And the benefits they claim this energy has are, well, they're extraordinary. Because the sound and the script match up perfectly, the argument is that learning it isn't just memorization. It actually provides personality education and teaches you etiquette. Even more profoundly, it's seen as a tool for liberation that can free your spirit from oppression. And the ultimate vision? Get this. When 70% of the world uses Hangul, true global unity will finally be possible.
The second tool is another Korean cultural export that's known all over the world: Taekwondo. But to really get its true purpose in this philosophy, we first need to understand a key concept about who, exactly, is meant to practice it. And that concept is Cheonsan, or descendants of heaven. This is how the source refers to the Korean people, and it gives them this special responsibility to guide the spiritual evolution of all of humankind. And what's their primary tool for this leadership training? Taekwondo, but not the way we usually think of it. So for these descendants of heaven, Taekwondo isn't just a martial art for fighting. It is Mudo, the martial way. Think of it as a spiritual discipline that's designed specifically for the highest level of leaders, the ones who are going to guide society. So the training then isn't about breaking boards or winning matches.
It's about achieving this perfect alignment. It's a practice to connect your body, your mind, and your spirit with the energy of the universe itself. This is the kind of profound inner work you have to do before you can even think about leading other people. So you've got this new mission led by social parents, and they're armed with the spiritual tools of Hangul and Mudo. The blueprint then culminates in a vision for, well, nothing less than the evolution of the entire human species. The journey starts in an almost animal-like state where we're just focused on survival. From there, we evolve to the human state where we're all about gathering knowledge. But the really critical jump is to the person state. That's when we start to live for the benefit of others, getting closer to the divine. The final stage is a return to our original self, a state of just complete harmony with the universe. This quote really challenges our normal idea of charity, doesn't it? The idea isn't to just give aid to people who are suffering, it's to first work on yourself. Develop yourself to a point where you can understand the root cause of their suffering. Your own growth and wisdom become the best help you can possibly offer, because then you can empower them to solve their own problems. And so we land at the ultimate vision. It's a world that's guided by this evolved generation of social parents. Because they've done the inner work through disciplines like Mudo, they can finally fulfill their purpose, to teach all of humanity how to live not just for themselves, but for each other, kicking off an era of true global community.
You know, this whole blueprint really hinges on re-examining these cultural treasures, an alphabet, a martial art, and finding a deeper spiritual power inside them. And that kind of leaves us with a final question, doesn't it? What parts of your own culture, things you might take for granted, could hold a similar hidden power to transform the world?